Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to 2020. Wow, that sounds weird. Happy New Year. Is it? That's the big question. I don't know about you. Oh, yes, and I'm leaving the cat tree in full view so that little Queen Toby down there can make her debut whenever she feels like it, or sleep through it, or whatever. Anyway, I don't know about this being Happy New Year. I got a really weird energy vibe from New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I felt like this real flatness in the collective energy. I didn't notice at midnight, I didn't notice a lot of celebrating. And then the next day, it just felt really flat, like no one was really excited about the new year. Could have been just me and my feeling, but I'm wondering if you felt it too. And I really think that this is it's kind of ominous as to what's coming, which leads us into why I'm making this video, my own little version of the energy for the year of 2020. What did the sage communicate with me? And it's a little different, just slightly different than what I hear other people saying that this year is going to be about. I'm hearing a lot of new beginnings, and yeah, sort of, and I'm hearing a lot of the words transformations. That's not exactly what I received. So the word, because I always get a word, the word for the year, excuse me, I've got, what else? Cat hair flying around. The word that came to me, at first I could sense my mind trying to force the word transformation as the word for the year, and it just didn't feel right, didn't fit, and so I had to get really clear. And all of a sudden the word inauguration came in. Now you might think, well, that's, I guess, pretty, you would expect that word to come in because we're going to have presidential elections at the end of the year, but it really means something else. So the word inauguration means, and I'm looking at my notes here, the beginning of or introduction of a system, policy, or a new period. It is the mark of something new, and it's usually that something new is in relationship to something that occurred before it, right? It's a new system, a new policy. So we're in an inaugural time. And I looked at the origin of the word, and I find it's interesting, and it comes from the Latin word inaugura, and it means to increase or the growth of something. And it also seems to also mean one who sees favorable omens. So what I'm getting about the word inauguration for this year is that we're entering into a new phase, synonymous with initiation, into a new phase that will promote growth, changes, but it's all good omens. However, this doesn't mean that it's going to get all good from now on. And the transformations are not yet occurring, because when I inquired further and asked for a hexagram, this is what what I gathered. So the hexagram that I got for this year is hexagram 38. And the judgment, no lines, so just the overall theme of hexagram 38, this will sum it up completely. I'll just read the quote. It's about judgment, separating in the small matters, and it ultimately leads to success. But it is in regards to the law of fate. And it is that which brings humans back into unity with the cosmos. So what came in is, and I think I intuited this or spoke about this a couple months ago, that we are not yet into the transformation stage in our growth, because we have yet to experience full extent of our fate, which is what 38 hexagram is all about. That humans have to, it's the law, it's about the law of fate, and that we must first experience our law of fate, our fate, from us being so out of harmony with the cosmos. And it talks about how far we've wandered. Sorry, I'm reading my notes and I misspelled something. We've wondered all along, you know, why our friends in high places, why the galactics, why the whatever angels, whoever your higher people are, why they haven't come in to help us and help correct things on this planet. And always in the new age or metaphysical community, the answer was that this was a free will planet, and therefore our guides and angels and helpers and the galactics must abide by the law of non-interference. But what the sage communicated is that the law of non-interference, they can't interfere when a person or a society or a global planetary community is not living within harmony of the cosmos. So it is our fate, and it is our fate. And well, let me just read this. Sorry, I should have prepared better. It says here, it is our fate, and I quote, "For when humans exclude themselves from the cosmic unity, they also exclude themselves from its protection and help, and create a parallel and false reality." So this year is the beginning of us really experiencing our fate, and we're going to see how clearly we've separated ourselves from the cosmos. So it's going to be a little bit of a rough year, but it is an initiation process, we've entered into a new phase, a new beginning, but the beginning is going to be a little rough. So don't worry. But we've got to get kicked in the head a little bit, you know, so that we can wake up a little bit more. And the gene key, at the gene key level of this hexagram, the 38th, it's at the gift and siddhic level, it's all about the underdog winning. You know, the meek shall inherit the earth. And the meek, of course, not meaning the small, but the humble man who knows his place within the cosmos. But at the shadow frequency, which is what we're going to start really beginning to feel, it's all about the energy of struggle. And it's based on the false belief that to live a human life is to struggle, survival of the fittest, you know, we have to be aggressive, we have to be territorial, struggle, that all of life is about struggle, and we have to be aggressive and force our way because it's survival of the fittest. So we have really cut ourselves off from our connection with the cosmos. If we were in harmony and connected with the cosmos, there would be no lack, there would be help and prosperity from all around us. So we're going to see very clearly this year, in the struggle to come, how we've separated ourselves and how this survival of the individual just doesn't work and won't lead. We cannot heal the system from this level of thinking. We're going to be woken up to that. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle. And we might see a bit more of the shadow of aggression, particularly among groups coming on board this year. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of an unusual, struggling type of year, but also good. This hexagram or gene key also correlates to adrenal. So what it's leading to, all the struggle and strife. And I think this is the energy that I felt on New Year's Day, that we were reaching a point of total exhaustion, because this hexagram and gene key correlates to the adrenals. So it's the adrenals of the planet, the adrenals of the individual, of the group. We are going to become so exhausted that we simply hit that point of surrender or giving up, getting on our knees, asking for help. It's the point where we get really humbled. And then I think real change will begin to take place. So, I did tune in psychically to see what I could see for the year of 2020. And because this is not my path, I'm beginning to get less and less visions, but I'm also really not enjoying what I'm seeing. And so I've not shared quite a bit of stuff even the last month or two, because it's like plane crashes. Like this year, I thought maybe it was for January or this year. I thought another 737 Boeing crashed, but I thought all those planes were taking out of service. But I did check in on the presidential campaign. I was kind of curious about that. And yeah, so here's what I saw. There's going to be a new candidate that comes out of the woodwork, a female. And I saw this last year, and I don't think I said this on any other videos. A female that comes out of the woodwork. I think I asked if I was familiar or we were familiar with her, and the answer I got was no. So some new female is going to come out of the woodwork, and currently undetermined under which party she is going to run. So something is going to happen there. This should probably happen pretty soon, right? And also, I feel a little uncomfortable saying this on video, but I'm not going to mention any names, but our current president, I didn't see him making it through to the end of the year. And I mean, living wise. So, yeah. And I think I've seen that before, but we'll just see what happens. That's a terrible thing to talk about. And what else? I did check in with the UK, because at least that's one other large place I can check in on, and I have a friend there. I heard last year, Paris is burning, and absolutely, that happened with the yellow vests. This time I heard London is burning, and I saw, I don't know if it was the Parliament or Big Ben fire. So I think what's going to happen is whatever happens with Brexit, which, by the way, last year I saw the separation, and it appears that this is indeed going to happen in some form or another, that whatever happens, some group is not going to be happy, and they're probably going to take to the streets of London and do a little bit of rioting, and maybe start a little fire. So anyway, 2020 is a year of initiations, and initiations usually come with some kind of struggle or shock. So be prepared for that. It's time to start looking at how we have separated ourselves. And when the sage speaks of how we've separated, sorry, I need to talk slower, separated ourselves from the cosmos, what they really are referring to is how we have separated ourselves from nature, and how we have elevated the human above all aspects of nature, animal, plant, mineral, the earth, everything. How we have elevated ourselves as special and unique beings simply because we have the ability to self-reflect and speak. And we've become very arrogant and dismissive in our treatment of animals, plant, the world, etc. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And that we see ourselves as very special and arrogant. And so we're going to get a little bit of humility this year. So perhaps think about that in your own life, where dominance is where you see yourself behaving dominantly over nature, animals, etc. And see where you have a bit of arrogance. And I've seen this in myself. So, we all have it. No one's immune to this. How we think we're special because we have this ability to think and speak. When in reality, we have to remember there is no such thing as the human kingdom. We are part of the animal kingdom. And so while we are unique, we are not separate. We are equal, and we all have an equally important and unique special role to play on this planet. So, and that in our decision makings this year, it's time to think about, when we're thinking about whatever we're making a decision on, is this good for me only? Maybe in the process of your decision making, it's time to start asking, is whatever I'm thinking about, is it in harmony with the whole? Does this work for everyone in my life? Okay, so that it is no longer survival of the fittest, but survival of the whole. All right, hang on, everybody. It's going to get interesting. I really do hope that you had a wonderful and happy New Year's Day, and a new year coming. It's going to get interesting. But I'm just say, warning now, a little drama, a little struggle, and a little humility is going to come upon humanity. All right. Until next time.